Welcome to the Get Real with King Arthur show. You will notice that the king has ear trouble. Too many shields clanging and whatnot have impaired my ears. But today, we're going to take a little breather from this long trail started by quantum theory, where we started describing quantum theory, and then we went to notice its inadequacy and talking about the path to meaning, separate from the straight physics of quantum theory. So we're going to take a little break here and talk about something a little more human here. We're going to talk about making friends and the long absent Victoria is going to answer questions and maybe ask them, I don't know. Now, it all started with the Broadway lunch counter where Victoria and I went to get sandwiches. And I noticed that she went to the counter and ordered our sandwiches and then disappeared. I'm there eating my sandwich alone. Well, it turns out that she appeared with another gal. And this gal, I thought she knew from way back when. No, she just met her 15 minutes before. And introduced me to this gal who was I don't know, she was traveling around with golfers or something. And she introduced me to this gal. I promised to send her my books, she wanted them, and then they ended up hugging each other. Well, I could no longer imagine making a friend in a half hour or an hour. Victoria, how do you do such a thing?
Well, she happened to be a friend. Actually, my first friend at the coffee shop, she's the girl that we always order from, and every time we go, me and her catch up. And her best friend happened to be there helping her that day, and that's the girl that I became friends with. Or, we just talked for a while, but I think sometimes it just people you click with, and it just happened to be someone I clicked with, and we got along and got to talking. So yeah, it was interesting.
What were you talking about?
We were talking about you. We were talking we were talking about jobs and what it's like to date in our age group these days, and we also talked about like stories we had in our workplaces and what she's gonna do in the future, things like that, getting to know people. But I think too, I think we got along because I got along with her friend first,
Yeah, it's interesting. Since you knew you got along with your friend, and so it's easy to hook up with your friend's friend.
Exactly. Yeah.
Well, I guess that makes sense. I don't know whether I could do such a thing go so quickly. Now, when you, let me ask you this question. When you're at a group party, say there are 20 people there, can you make small talk? When I go to such a thing, I just huck down in the corner. I don't know. I can't talk trivia,
No, I understand what you're saying. I think, I think I used to be like that, but actually recently, I think in the last year or so, is my fear of I don't know. There was partly fear, but it's also it's a lot of work to get to know people sometimes, and so you don't really want to engage. But I think for me now, I see every person kind of like an opportunity to learn. So
So you go up to them and say, "I'm gonna learn something from you."
Yeah, whatever you want, you know.
Uh-huh.
Well, it's interesting because I think too, people think it's gonna be really awkward, or there's gonna be silence, or you're not gonna know what to say. And I think I've accepted the fact that it's gonna be awkward no matter what. Like, you know, like it's a new person. Obviously, you're not gonna know what to say. Obviously, the conversation's gonna have pauses, you know. So I think when I go up to people or I start talking to people now, I've already assumed the fact that it's gonna be weird, you know.
Oh.
But since I've already accepted it, it makes it not weird for me. So like I already assume that I'm not gonna have something to say at some point. I might have something to say at another point. And it also allows you to gauge like, oh, actually, I don't even really want to talk to this person, you know. But they're available there at any point if I do want to talk to them, you know. It's a two-way street, too. It can't just be you. If they can't reciprocate the energy of, like, talking or conversation, then maybe that's not a good person to invest your time in either.
So you think, well, that person's a dud, I'll go on to somebody else.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, now what do you have to say about making friends? Because you say, I wish I had more friends. Well, so Dr. Johnson in the 18th century said, no man has enough friends.
That's a different way of thinking it. Yeah, I would say I think I'm learning that some people you're just immediately gonna click with. Other people, it'll take more time. And I don't know, I think it's hard to find out-of-the-box thinkers. And so when I do find someone who's very out of the box, I tend to connect with them very easily. You know, and so I think it's hard to find that, for me at least, to find people who can think out of the box. But I'm able to connect with most people. It's just,
yes,
you
but
know.
If you're a young, beautiful woman, it's harder when you're an old cod.
Well, no, you have your years to your advantage too, Art, and I feel like you're an out of the box thinker. I think
Oh, that's true.
I think most people your age are so in a box that you can't even. There is no reality besides the box. So I think you're very unique in your way of thinking.
So.
Yeah, but that's 1 in a million. Like not 1 in a million, but 1 in several hundred for sure. And I think, especially at Stanford, I was telling my friend, like, when I was there, you know, they picked literally all the superhumans in the world and put them all together. So obviously we were all going to be friends, right? But I think coming into the real world, I feel like I'm having to filter or search way more because no one else is doing the work for me to find the people I'm going to connect with.
Well, here I've been asking the questions. You have something to say about friendship or whatever?
Anything else? Well, what do you have to say about friendship?
Well, I think that sometimes it takes a while for people to read me correctly. You say I'm out of the box. And I don't think I fit categories easily.
Right, yeah, I agree with that.
And so it's better when, as you say, I know a friend X and then I get to know his friend Y maybe. They understand me a little bit by understanding how others relate to me. So I think there's a little something there like that.
Yeah, I think there is, for sure. I think sometimes, especially if you have like a leadership quality, for example, you've always been a teacher. And I think God gives teachers the ability to see more than their students. And so I don't think every single person is a leader necessarily, but I think teachers and leaders, things like that, people who are at the top looking down, being able to see and give people guidance, it's harder to find other people like that to connect with because it's less there are less teachers or less leaders than followers. That's just something I've thought about.
Yeah. In a situation like that, I'll tell you what I do. I just kind of sit down, let people come to me. Is that wise?
Like with friendship?
Well, I mean, at a party, I want to make friends I don't know everybody at the party. So I just sit and wait people to come talk to me.
I mean, that could be one strategy. I guess it depends on your level of energy and willingness. But, I mean, there's always going to be someone else sitting there alone. So if you are in the mood to as well to talk, then you might as well spring up a conversation or something. But...
Well, we were just touching on a subject. I hope we pursue it further because I think it's we all want to make more friends. As Dr. Johnson said, we never have enough friends. He also said, when he was older, I like to make friends with young people because they don't die off on me. I think there's some of that truth.
That's good advice, Art.
Yes. Well, give us some response about making friends. Maybe you have some wisdom you can share with us. So make some friend today. Thanks for listening.